Good morning. My name is Adam Witcher. I will be your instructor for today. We're going to be talking about expressions, equations, and functions today. So the first thing that we want to do is cover the important vocabulary. The first thing I want to talk about is a variable. A variable is simply a letter that represents one or more unknown numbers. So again, a variable is a letter that is used to represent one or more unknown numbers. For example, if I use the letter x, that can equal anything. 2x equals y. In this equation, I have two variables. One is x and one is y. Depending on what I choose for x, I will get a different y. If I choose 3 for x, 2 times 3 equals 6. So I have 3 for an x, 6 for a y. But if I choose x to be 4, 2 times 4 is equal to 8. So because these numbers change, depending on what I choose for x and what I choose for y, they are variables. The next thing that I want to talk about is an algebraic expression. An algebraic expression is an expression that includes at least one variable. So if I say, let's get a different color here. If I say 2 plus 1 equals 3, this is an expression, but because it does not have a variable, it is not an algebraic expression. So to turn this into an algebraic expression, I could say 2x plus 1 equals 3. And now we have to decide what number can x be for this to be true. Well, we know that it needs to be 2 plus 1, so x needs to be 1. In which case, 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So this is an algebraic expression. This top one is not because it doesn't have a variable. This is just an expression. Okay? So let's talk about an equation for a second, because it's important to know the difference between an expression, an algebraic expression, an equation, and a function. An equation is simply a mathematical sentence formed by placing an equal sign between the two expressions. In other words, anywhere in any of these places, I'm going to get a new color again, any one of these places that has an equal sign, these are all equations. These are all equations because they all have equal signs. See all of these that have equal signs? These are all equations. These are all equations. It just means you have an equal sign between two expressions. So this only has one expression. This is actually not an equation because there's not an expression on the other side. But all of these, you have 2x as an expression equals y, which is an expression. And so all of these are equations. Okay? The next concept is functions, and this is going to take a moment longer to explain because functions are unique. So I'm going to scroll down and get some fresh screen. Okay, let's talk about functions for a second. There are two things you need to know about functions. They have a set of inputs and they have a set of outputs. They have to have a set of inputs and a set of outputs. And each input is paired with exactly one output. So let me give you an example. Okay, here we have our inputs. And they're going to be cookies, okay? Here's some cookies. Chocolate chip, I like chocolate chip cookies. We're going to have 3 cookies. We're just going to have 3 little chocolate chip cookies here that someone's going to get to eat. So our inputs are cookies, okay? Here are our outputs. Our outputs are people, okay? Here's Mr. Witcher. And This is Miss Olds, right? So if you don't come to me, you go to Miss Olds. So Mr. Witcher and Miss Olds are the outputs. Who gets the cookies? Now let's say that Mr. Witcher gets there first, and he eats all 3 cookies. So Mr. Witcher gets all 3 of these cookies. I really like chocolate chip cookies. This is a function because we have our set of inputs, our cookies. We have our set of outputs, these people, Mr. Witcher and Miss Olds, and each cookie goes to only one person. They all go to Mr. Witcher, but each one, see this line? Each one goes to one person. No cookie goes to 2 people, because once the cookie's gone, it is gone. So now I'm going to give you an example of what is not a function, okay? And for this, we're going to switch colors, okay? Not a function. Not a function. Okay, so it's high school. You've left junior high, but in junior high there was that drama, right? People talking about people, and so we're going to call those rumors, okay? Rumors. So here we have a set of rumors. There are inputs, okay? Here are rumors. We have rumor about Mr. Witcher, and here's a rumor. Here's a rumor about, let's use Miss Olds again as an example. Miss Olds, okay? We have these inputs here. Rumor about Mr. Witcher, rumor about Miss Olds. Well, here are our outputs, okay? These rumors are going to be told to students, okay? So here's the first student, the second student, we'll give this student some arms, and the third student, okay? Well, let's make a 4th student. Let's go ahead and make a 4th student. Nice even number 4. So what happens is, this rumor about Mr. Witcher is told to the first student, but it's also told to the 4th student. And the 4th student shares it with the 3rd student, so now the 3rd student knows it too. Rumor about Miss Olds, well, that was told to the 2nd student, and the 2nd student told the 1st student. There's a set of inputs, right? We have a set of inputs, and we have a set of outputs. But because each input goes to multiple outputs, right? The rumor about Mr. Witcher went to several people. Just because one person knew didn't mean that somebody else couldn't also know. And because it goes to multiple people, this is not a function. Not a function, okay? Let's go back to our cookies, okay? For it to be a function, your inputs can only go to one output. The cookies could only go to Mr. Witcher or Miss Olds. They could not go to both. The rumor could go to any of these 4 students, to any of them. So this is not a function. Okay.